Well, Tyler Butterfield, welcome back to Bermuda. Home is always a good place to come back to. But we're looking at 2018, and what are some of the things you're looking forward to doing and accomplishing for yourself in the sport in the year to come?
Yeah, it's great to be home. Thanks for having me and having me on the show. I always love coming back to Bermuda. 2018 will be an interesting one. I'm sort of getting older.
Not you.
I can have a couple more years left, but you definitely have to have reasons. It's getting harder to get out the door. 2018 with Commonwealth Games is pretty amazing. Provisionally, I think we've qualified a team for Bermuda, which is pretty amazing. From a country of 65,000 people to have 4 athletes in the same sport at an international level is amazing. Obviously, Flora is running the show, being a two-time world champ in that discipline of Olympic distance triathlon, and then I think she's a 6 or 7-time world champ. Is when you add in all the other
yes.
the non-Olympic sports. But it's amazing to see what Bermuda's produced, and for me that's a highlight. Personally, I'm better at the Ironman distance, the longer distance, the 8-hour races, but the fact that Bermuda can put a team event in, and Commonwealth Games is a sprint distance, which is around an hour race, and then the super sprint, which is basically a swim, bike, run for 4 people.
Right.
It's not one of us swims, one of us bikes, one of us runs.
Right.
But that's a huge highlight for me personally, to see the sort of baton handed off. I mean, growing up, there was Elliot Hubbard, and Chris Hedges, people ahead of me that were doing it, and then I followed them, and Flores came along, and Flores by far set a standard that a small country can have the best in the world. She's now 2-time world champ at an Olympic event. It's pretty amazing that someone from Bermuda has done that, and sometimes I don't think people fully grasp what she's accomplished.
Right.
And so I hope she has a great Commonwealth Games, because people can sometimes understand that the games a little more.
Right.
But yeah, it's exciting for me, but it's exciting for Bermuda.
How do you change your mindset and your level of training to do a sprint per se as a team in triathlon when you're working on those 8-hour events?
Yeah, it's very different. I have to change my training from training for an 8-hour event to basically half an hour, 20-minute in the team event, and 1 hour in the individual. And so it's just max efforts. It's basically like taking a distance athlete and bringing them back to shorter races. The guy right now winning all the marathons came from 5K.
Right.
It would be like taking him back to 5K, and he would be competitive, but it's not competitive at the top.
Right.
But you can hold your own. Also, I have to switch bikes. It's a different bike. There's different rules that you have to follow. But it's nothing I haven't done before. I did Ironman before I went back to the 2012 Olympics. The biggest thing is the age. Like, when I look at the age of all these athletes that I'm racing, a lot are in their early 20s, from 18 to sort of early 20s. There's a few in the late 20s, and then there's only a handful of us that are in the 30s.
Right.
So I'm definitely the sort of old donkey in the mix, but that also can give you motivation.
Right.
It gives you drive to prove to other athletes that are older and have moved to Ironman. A lot of them don't want to go back.
Right.
Some don't have the opportunity. But as well, they're like, well, it's not what comes as naturally as you get older, so why do it? And it's like sometimes you don't always have to do what's easiest.
Right.
You don't always have to take the path of least resistance. It makes more sense, but you don't always have to do that. And I'm thankful and privileged to have the opportunity from Bermuda, and thankful for the 2 juniors, Erica and Tyler Smith, to have qualified, and they're at such a high standard they've enabled me to come back. I thought the last Commonwealth Games was going to be my last Commonwealth Games. And it would be neat to see Flora race the individual, to be down there just to watch her.
Right.
And then to be in a team with her and with all of them. It definitely is sort of multi-generations coming together.
Do you see the pressure, or can you feel the pressure of, if Flora's in the field, we're possibly medaling? I know it's difficult, but would you feel added pressure if we came to that?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that would be Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Great Britain, these are huge countries.
Yes.
In the team event, to get a medal would be amazing. Flora is definitely of that standard by far. I think for the rest of us, myself and Erica and Tyler, juniors and an older Ironman athlete, it would be very impressive and a hard call.
Right.
I don't. Nothing's out of the question, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it.
Right.
So it wouldn't be pressure. It would almost be. That would probably be one of the most exciting things that have ever happened to me.
We could stop the games after that.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat for Bermuda. For hopefully Flora gets a medal, and hopefully it's the top step.
Yeah.
In the individual, she's definitely shown she's on that course, and on that she has the potential, and if everything goes right, there's no reason why not. But it's easier said than done. That's the reason we have a race, because nothing's guaranteed. For the team, I think all of us, it's more about participating for Bermuda. I think it really is that. It's country pride.
Right.
The individual, yes, the individual event is for both yourself and your country. The team is very much a country pride thing, which is neat that we're even able to do it.
How does training for you change when you're preparing for the longer version of the Ironman?
It's just a lot longer days.
Right.
Like right now, I'm doing 3 sessions a day, basically swim, bike, run every day. And then you might do some gym or some core work. So a 4 session, it's more like maintenance work, like weights or stretching. Whereas when you ride your bike for 7 hours, you then often only fit a run in. So you're doing a 7-hour bike and a half an hour, 1 hour run for an 8 hour a day, which generally takes 10, but it's 8 hours of like start your heart rate, 8 hours of moving. This is a lot more swim, get changed, eat something, bike, get changed, eat something, run, get changed, eat something, rest, put your feet up for a little bit. That I'll have to get more serious about. Right now when I'm at home, the Ironman's easier to train because I'm out of the house, because I'm just moving.
Right.
When I get home with the kids, it's a little different than the last time I did this distance, because then you normally go for another session. Like you might do a run, swim, bike, and then in the evening you do another jog. So you're up to 4 sessions a day, but it's only 5 hours versus 8 hours in 2 sessions. So it's just a different
time management and
yes, time management, structure. The intensity's higher, the rest is generally a little more, and so it's an interesting challenge.
Right.
And thankfully, like the Commonwealth Games has different levels. They have Flora's level and the Brownlees for the male, and then there is other countries that it enables someone like myself to say, yes, I can go back and hold my own.
Right.
The Olympics is a little different. And the WTS race here in Bermuda, so the World Championship Series race that Bermuda's holding, is the best in the world. And I will have changed my training for Commonwealth Games. I definitely want to come down and support that race. I do have a race the same day. It's the Ironman distance, but I've told my coach I'd like not to do it.
Right.
It's Ironman Texas, which I was 3rd at last year. It's the same weekend as the Bermuda race.
Right.
I think my coach would prefer me to do the Ironman race because it's one I can do better at.
Right.
Versus racing here or even just coming and watching here. She might say this isn't really a good use of your time, but for me, Bermuda's home.
Right.
Bermuda's
It's a special time.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I want to come back and support it, especially the first one. just even if I'm on the sideline cheering on.
Right.
But that's the elite world class level from the number one starter, which Flora holds in the women.
Right.
I'm not sure who's holding the men. I think right now it's a Spanish guy.
Yes. Yeah.
All the way down
Luis
to
something. Yeah.
all the way down to the last starter is basically that ranking in the world of the people who are coming.
Right.
And so I really encourage people for Bermuda to go out and watch these guys. The guy who might finish 20th here in 3 years' time might be the Olympic gold medalist in Tokyo.
Right.
It literally is the elite of the elite and the best of the best that are coming to Bermuda in April.
Right. Now you talk about family and home. You've recently moved. What's that life been like? Or because people have to look at what they're going to be doing after sport, and I think the move is more family orientated. You got a farm.
The move is definitely more family orientated. I did it definitely for my wife and my kids. The other day I finished a 4-hour bike ride, and I'm still because in Colorado it's cold, so I'm cycling in long pants.
Right.
And I changed my shoes and put a sweater and a jacket on. But I'm still in my cycling pants, and I'm going and shoveling horse poo. So it's definitely a lifestyle change. But my kids love it. They run out. They look after the animals. It's teaching them to take care of the animals, feed them. The chickens lay eggs. My son runs out and chases and says, "Daddy, I'm going to look for eggs." Now we're getting a little more snow there. It'll be a little harder. It's definitely a lifestyle. It's not a job opportunity.
Right.
It's a hobby farm. It's definitely for the kids. My daughter loves animals. I mean, she's only 7, but she's like, I want to be a vet when I grow up. She's always liked animals from when she was little.
Okay.
And it's interesting, and it's something that I grew up in Bermuda where you can go to a beach. You can drive to the beach and let your kids run.
Yes.
If you know someone who has a boat, you can say, "Oh, you going out? Let's go out in the boat."
Right.
You have sort of these freedoms of areas where you can just go and let the kids sort of just run, and you have to be careful. You have to watch the kids on the beach, but it's that freedom that I wanted for them at home. Like they're going to school, and in the winter it's you're indoors a lot.
Yes.
This gives them rug up and go out. It's definitely a change, but it's a lifestyle change.
Right.
But I mean, I was riding down in St. George's, and I saw some of the goats out on the far point.
Yes.
And I've seen them before, but I haven't noticed them. And I'm like, oh, those are the goats. So it's a different lifestyle, which I'm enjoying.
Okay. 2018. What are some of the things you're looking to personally accomplish?
To be honest, I'm not looking very much past Commonwealth Games. Sort of one step at a time. As I said, I am getting older. It's not that it's getting harder to get out the door, but I definitely am coming to a point where I could do it for another 5 years. It could be my last year.
Right.
This past year was my worst result in Kona, which is the Ironman World Championships, but it was actually my best year results-wise on a standard.
Right.
The first 4 races, or 5, went 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Then the next weekend I showed up and did an Ironman only because it was in my hometown, hometown of Colorado, right where I live. So I didn't have to buy a hotel or a plane fare to get there.
Right.
And I flatted. And then the next one was 70.3 Worlds, where I was 7th. And it doesn't sound great when it's 7th, especially when Flora's winning every race she goes in. But for me to be my best before that was 8th and 9th.
Right.
To be 7th, only 6 people in the world at that distance are better, and not everyone shows up. So it's not quite that exactly as said. However, you can only race the people who show up. And so I was proud of last year, but it was definitely hard. It was definitely. When I was a teenager, it was a lot easier just to put your head down and just do the grind. It's a fun job, but it's every day.
Right.
And that's what's getting to be the challenge. And where does it go? Like to do another 5 years, the day you stop, you have to do something else.
Right.
It's not a job where you retire from sport, but you're getting another job, and so I have to start to think about that.
Right. Are you still getting the looks like that looked like Tyler Butterfield riding by? Are you still getting that on the roads here in Bermuda?
Yes, I'm always surprised. I also get we were just chatting with someone, and someone's like, I thought Tyler was bigger than that. You're more muscly.
Right.
Are you sure? And I made the joke. I said, yeah, the newspaper. I get them to enhance it. They get the cartoon drawings out and put some muscle on. Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to come home. Because on the international scene, I'm racing well, but I'm not a superstar.
Right.
I think Flora gets it here and overseas. People know who she is.
Right.
And you spend a lot of work and a lot of effort training. And the reward isn't always there as it's not as lucrative or it's not as rewarding as always. It's personal achievements that as a kid you dreamed of achieving,
right,
that you're trying to get to,
right.
And at a certain point you have to say, I have a family, I have how long are you gonna keep chasing these? So it's nice to see other people get enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's still doing well overseas,
right.
It means a lot to me to know that it means a lot to other people.
Right. When can we see you competing locally, if at all?
I'm definitely going to start to do more. So I'm planning on coming back for international race weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So is it 2 weeks from now?
Just about, yeah.
Just about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on maybe just doing the marathon. I don't know if I'll do the triple challenge.
Right.
I haven't been doing much speed work. After the race weekend, I have a training camp in Arizona where I'll switch to doing more speed work towards the Com Games. But that's the plan. So already I'm starting to come back more.
Right.
It's always a hard one. I still want to try and achieve. I'd like to achieve better than 5th in Hawaii.
Yes.
And physically, I think it's possible, but you have to have the whole package. You have to be willing to make the sacrifice. And those sacrifices are staying overseas and just literally every day, 3 times a day, keeping life as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just traveling to Bermuda, but traveling anywhere. You just keep it as simple as possible. And you are a racehorse. You eat, you sleep, and you train, and you and literally you get told what to do, and you do it. And the more you do that, generally, the better you become.
Right.
And so I don't know if 5th in Kona it will be my best. I'm quite proud of that. That was 2 years ago. But it's one of those things that the year will tell.
Right.
I can't say this is what I want or this is what. It's not as easy as that. But I know Commonwealth Games is on the cards.
Right.
Provisionally, they've said we've all made it, and to race for Bermuda in the team would be amazing. And so that sometimes just looking one step at a time,
right,
sort of like day to day. When I get overwhelmed with my training week from what my coach says, I'm like, take care of tomorrow, and the rest of it will take care of itself.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for your time because I know you're busy. You're trying to get into the pool as much time in Bermuda as you can. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, hopefully on the start line for the marathon.
Yes, I'll be back.
We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Jungle.